Hi, I'm Becky from Bright Morning, and I want to share more about how you can make tough calls that build versus break trust. Let's imagine we have two leaders, same decision, different outcomes. Maybe the decision is something like you have to roll out a new assessment plan or an assessment system in your community. Leader A sends an email and says, District said, new assessment plan's coming next year, more information soon. Leaves people kind of in a tailspin, even though it's such a short email. What this leader doesn't realize is even though they sent a quick email on the front end, they're going to get a lot of emails and texts and questions on the back end, slowing things down and causing resistance. Now, leader B thinks a little bit more about the experience. They lead with the why before the what. They share about the how, and they invite and normalize any emotions that might be present in this process here. The announcement is made live, it's recorded, it's even captured in a really helpful doc that people can reference after. And even if people don't love the decision, they feel informed and respected. Let's figure out how we can be more like leader B. Remember, trust is the key ingredient and oftentimes most vulnerable, especially when you have big and hard decisions to make. These are moments of change that we all are going through right now. And so you want to avoid a couple of things. One is, as a leader, avoid the default of making all decisions all by yourself. This erodes trust and undermines opportunity. The second thing you want to avoid is sort of the opposite of that. Avoid making every decision with your team. This slows things down, it sometimes fatigues your team, and undermines your leadership. The third one you want to avoid is the faux empowerment trap. You say you all can make the decision, and then they make the decision and you realize you didn't share the constraints or criteria well enough, and you actually can't move forward with the decision they've made. That is so disempowering. And so a couple of things you can do in order to make sure that you are building trust when you're making decisions and really communicating them. You want to anticipate and prepare. Anticipate who needs this information, how might they feel, and what do you need to do to show up well in that conversation. When you're sharing, lead with the why. One of the principles of adult learning says that people need to know the why or purpose behind something. Be really clear with that. In that, name potential emotions that might be present. Normalizing emotions like confusion or frustration or uncertainty allows people to sort of breathe, show up in an emotionally intelligent and honest way versus inviting resistance. Clarify for your group what's decided versus what's up for grabs. Where is their final decision making that we actually can't adjust? We are rolling out this assessment system, but there might be some flexibility in which grade levels pilot it or how we roll it out in terms of timeline and scope for the first couple of months. And then once you've made the decision, don't make the mistake that most leaders make, which is they sort of leave the decision out in the air and they don't come back to it. Reconnect with individuals and teams after. Ask them a week or two after this time what's feeling clearer, what's feeling murky. What do you need to do in order to execute this decision with confidence? How can I most effectively support you here? That lets your team know I'm still with you in this process of change. If you want to learn more with us and you're recognizing, wow, there is a lot in not just decision making, but leading teams in general, I want to invite you to pause this video and scan the QR code and learn more about the art of coaching teams. We have an in-person workshop as well as a virtual workshop, and this is where you get to see models, you get to ask questions, and you get to practice in that safe enough space, which we so rarely get a chance to do as leaders. In addition to that, if you would like to learn even more with Bright Morning, I would recommend our Team Leader Learning Library and PLC, our professional learning community. There are hundreds of asynchronous videos where our leader, Elena Aguilar, shares powerful tips and stories, tools, resources, and scripts to help you navigate new team dynamics, toxic team dynamics, to help you really step fully into your leadership. In addition to that, you will have access to our 90-minute exclusive professional learning community with other Bright Morning leaders and coaches, as well as other leaders from across the country and the world, where you can ask questions, get feedback, and support one another. If you liked learning with us, register for our next webinar. We will be talking about resistance and how to turn it into resilience. It was nice seeing y'all, and onward.